And but it's fine, and I think I spend a little bit of time there every now and then, just to kind of have some fun with the fans, and we'll see how it goes. If they behave, I'll stick around.
Yeah. Everybody listening, you hear that? Be nice.
I was trying last night. Somebody decided they were going to decipher a tweet that I'd sent, and in their own way, based on their favorite character. So it didn't matter what my tweet said; they were going to kind of spin it, and they didn't like what I said, even though I never mentioned anybody's name or anything. And so I had to figure out that these kinds of things are bound to happen. So it's fun. It's fine. It's bound to happen. But unfortunately, that's kind of what keeps people like Michael Easton off Twitter, and Kelly Monaco, of course, has a Twitter account, but very rarely gets on there. So
right.
We'll see. But anyway, I tried to tweet after saying, hey, listen, all the actors on the show, we get along great. We're all on the same team. We all respect each other. There's no actor fighting, and the fans shouldn't, be fighting amongst themselves because we don't do it. And we're just kind of perplexed by the whole thing. And, if the fans knew how much the actors just almost lose respect for them when they start this, kind of character fighting, they would stop immediately. It's not doing anybody any favors. And certainly it's just putting them in bad light. So I just have to kind of take all that into account that, hey, it's bound to happen. At the end of the day, they might, reconsider what they said, and, then they might apologize. But, it's bound to happen, and it's fine. But I still have fun with the fans, and I don't think I'll stop doing it.
Oh, that's good. That's good. The fans have to take into account, this is a TV show. This is not real life. These are characters.
It's not high school or middle school.
Right. You got to watch the show because you love the show, not just because you love one character or one couple. It's just not going to work that way. So you have to take the whole thing into consideration. So hopefully someday they'll learn that.
Hopefully. If we keep trying with our if we just are very patient with them and explain it to them, maybe one day, who knows?
Yeah.
You can change the world one fan at a time.
That's right.
That's
all you can do. I said, that's right. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to ask you, I noticed that you've been on quite a few sci-fi shows, Outer Limits and Earth, the Final Conflict, and StarGate and so on. Is this like one of your favorite genres to play?
Science fiction?
Yeah.
No, not necessarily. It's just I think for whatever reason you kind of get into. It's kind of like getting into a car and you've got a driver and the driver's going here and he's going there and he just keeps saying, hey, do you want to come with me on this trip? Do you want to come with me on that trip? And so, for instance, you might meet a producer or you might meet a writer or you might meet a director. Like on Sequest, I ended up, of course, meeting Michael Deloise, and then years later I ran into Michael Deloise again, and we worked on StarGate together. He was the director on StarGate, and so he hired me for StarGate. So, and then you meet somebody else, and they're directing another show that's also in the same genre, so you end up on that show, and that's just kind of how it happens,
Right.
It's one of those things.
Right.
It's the same thing for daytime. You end up in daytime, and they're like, oh, that guy's great. He'd be great on our show. Let's get him over here. So it's like, it's just how it happens. Writers move from show to show. Executive producers move from show to show, and they bring some actors with them. Same thing.
Yeah. They like what you do, and they want you back, so that's a good thing for you.
Yes, that is
good.
Yeah,
exactly. Mm-hmm.
Well, we have two more questions, and then we'll let you go because we know your time is limited. David, go ahead with your question.
Yes. Okay. From your Facebook page, I noticed that you have a special affinity to Men's Best Friend.
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell us how and why you became an advocate for them?
Well, I just think it was through a little bit of education, through meeting people over the years. We've just kind of discovered that, just walking down the street, it's really about taking an interest in something. I mean, in people, in situations, and not just walking by something without asking questions. I think it really all boils down to that. We get so busy in our lives that we're just like, oh, isn't that cute? Look at all those dogs they're trying to get rid of. And you just keep walking.
Yeah.
And, if people were to stop and ask questions and get involved, whether they want a dog or not, just like, hey, what's going on here? Talk to somebody. You'll find out that, as we did, there's 9,000 dogs every day being destroyed in the United States just because, they can't find a home that day. Just because somebody can't adopt them on that very single day, they put the darn dog to sleep. And these are really, dogs are tremendous, tremendous creatures. I mean, we were just watching a special on National Geographic the other night of a dog literally being able to detect cancer in a woman's breast.
Yes,
That's
I've seen that.
I think I did.
And you're like, okay, and these are like amazing dogs. They're saving people in fires. They're saving babies. They're saving, all these situations that are just miracles, and we're just killing these dogs randomly. These ridiculous rules in apartment buildings that are no pit bulls. And pit bulls are the sweetest dogs on the face of the planet. Now, mind you, if you train them to be a certain way, they could also be the most lethal. But that's taught by humans. So, these people, they go from one apartment that allows pit bulls, and they go to another apartment that doesn't allow pit bulls, and this beautiful, trained, loving dog, good with children, and has to go into a kill facility, and 3 days later the dog is dead. 9,000 dogs a day. People think it's cute to have puppies. Puppies are cute, but the fact is, 75% of those puppies that these people think are cute are going to end up in some sort of a facility, be neglected. They're going to end up being homeless or whatever, strays. It's just crazy. So I just would love for people to get educated, stop buying dogs from. We would have enough dogs to be adopted for the next 10 years. If nobody bought another puppy from a puppy store, we'd have enough dogs for 10 years.
Yeah.
To adopt.
Yes.
So, we just almost have an over-inventory of dogs. So for all that, kind of barking that Bob Barker was doing, get your dog spayed and neutered for 50 years on air, there was a point to it. And I,
exactly.
sort of just was like in one ear and out the other for quite a long time. But then when you stop and try to think about it, you're like, you know what, Bob had a point.
He sure did.
He wasn't just a crazy old fool.
No.
So, so it's just a great platform that I have with Facebook to, just like make people aware. I mean, I'm constantly getting emails from people or messages from people saying, hey, you know what, I had no idea. I've gotten all my dogs from pet stores. I had no idea that they're killing 9,000 dogs a day. And wow. I guarantee you that, hold on, I have a helicopter going over me. Somebody's doing the weather or the traffic up here. I guarantee you, if everybody spends 5 minutes in a kill facility, they would never go to a puppy store ever again.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that breaks our hearts because David and I both are huge animal advocates and lovers of. He's got cats, I have dogs, and the only reason I don't have cats is because now I'm allergic, and I'm allergic to most dogs out there, so I can only have Yorkies or Poodles. So I'm just grateful that I can have them, But there are people out there that should think before they go ahead and purchase a dog about all of these animals that need rescuing, that's for sure.
Yeah, they really, really, really should think twice. What's my lifestyle like? Am I living in an apartment? Do I have a yard? If I'm in an apartment and I'm only going to be here for 2 years, I should definitely get a small dog.
Right.
If I have a yard and my life is stable, I should get a big dog. But, I just bought a house and I don't know where I'll be in 2 years, but for now this is great. Let's get a dog. We're moving into an apartment. Let's just get rid of the dog. I mean, how many stories? There was a story the other day of a lady who saw a dog chained up on Google Maps. And she called the local SPCA and said, I'm looking on Google here, and I think there's been a dog that's been abandoned. Sure enough, the SPCA goes down there and friggin' rescues this dog off a chain that from a house that had been abandoned.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
It's just a tragedy. I don't know what people are thinking. I mean, they obviously don't care, so.
Yeah. Well, we need more people to care about a lot of things, and let's hope that's one of them.
Yeah.
The other thing that I wanted to bring up is that you're going to be doing some events on October 26th, 27th, and November 2nd in New York, Staten Island, Montreal. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I do know that I'm appearing, and of course I don't have the name in front of me of the venue, and I'm sure Deb does, but it's going to be in Staten Island, I believe on the 26th, and I think New York is on the 25th in New York. So the one in New York is going to be very intimate, dinner with some fans, while the one in Staten Island might be a little bit of a larger gathering. So anybody interested in some intimacy with, myself, then should make plans for New York. And anybody that just wants to meet some new people and have some fun and have a good evening, might be a little bit cheaper for some people to, join us in Staten Island. And then, of course, in Montreal, my hometown, will be November 2nd, which I'm really looking forward to. So, the details are being worked out, but Deb will certainly fill you in on all that, and I wish I could tell everybody on the air. So,
no, that's okay. That's okay. We understand. I mean, you guys are so busy all the time. Thank God you do have publicists and that help you out with these kinds of things.
I know. I can only keep track of so many things in my mind, when I'm working on my script. So I do think
right.
I am lucky to have a PR agent.
Yes, for sure. Well, we also want to thank her for setting up this interview, and we'd love to have you back at some time to take some fan calls, because there was people that would love to speak with you and answer maybe some of the questions that were thrown out in the chat room and on Twitter.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, maybe we could do that one day, sure.
All right.
Yeah,
well, thank you so
back.
much for joining us today and taking time out of your busy schedule. David, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I want to thank William myself and for all he's done for daytime.
Well, thank you, David. I appreciate it. I'm having a lot of fun, and let's hope we continue with it.
Most
Me
definitely.
too.
We'll be watching you. We'll be watching you.
Well, have a wonderful evening, you guys. Stay dry in Chicago, and love the city. And I was actually just there not too long ago for a Cubs game, so
oh, really?
I miss Chicago. Love it, miss it.
Oh, well, definitely next time you come back, let me know.
Sounds
I'll go
good.
to a Cubs game.
Absolutely.
Take care. Enjoy your evening and don't
have
work
a wonderful
too hard.
evening.
You too.
So
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was wonderful. I could talk to him for hours. I mean, he's so interesting. He has a lot of great things to say, and I'm so very appreciative of him, looking out for the dogs and in our world, because that's probably one of the last things that people think of, these days, and really for a very long time. Otherwise, we wouldn't have 9,000 dogs dying a day.
Yeah, that's true.
So for our listeners, if you... What?
That number just blew me away.
I know, right? I was astounded. I had no idea. I mean, I knew it was a lot, but 9,000 a day? Wow. And I'll tell you, if I wasn't allergic, I would adopt more dogs with no problem. And same thing for cats if I wasn't allergic. I have a home. My kids love animals. Always wanted to get a cat. Unfortunately, I can't do that anymore. So, yeah, I would definitely be doing that. So anybody out there that has a home and can adopt an animal, please do it, help save them. They don't ask for much. They want to be fed, they want to be loved, and they give you so much in return. I could not imagine my life without my animals.
I can't either. I wish I could